game on the line. Williams lofting one for a doozy. He caught
it! You're listening to the world's #1 football podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen, Matt Hartman, and Ryan Matthews.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pigskin Project. Basically a throwback week with it only being a two-man show. It's been a long time. That being said, Matt is out because he's not feeling well.
Dude's
buddy. Just, we miss him very much. He puts a lot of effort into the show and we greatly appreciate it. However, Ben, OG week, right? Me and you, it's been probably close to a year, I would say, when it comes to how long it's been since it's been a two-man show between me and you specifically. How you feeling this week, man? I got a lot of energy going into it. We have a lot of energy to make up for, given there's a whole man missing here. How we doing?
Oh, you know me. As we were getting ready, I'm just, chocked full of energy. I got caffeine pumping through my veins. My Eagles got to win. We'll get into it, but my Eagles got to win. That's what matters. And I'm doing great. I'm just happy to be here. How you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling good. Lots of life changes coming ahead. I feel it. I feel it in the air. I feel it. Oh yeah, the Macho Man. Anyways, lots of stuff, but nothing will change with the show. Your boy's still coming on, and we're gonna run this train into the ground, and I'll go down with it. But anyways, no, it's going well. Life is good. And we're gonna get into the rest of it. Let's go ahead and dive into our show rundown. This week, we've got some fun stuff for you. As you can tell from the title, is there a power shift in the NFC? We will be talking about that, whether or not there will be or not, because we are talking to the different conferences and how we're feeling about each one. The AFC, the NFC, who's the top 5 in each conference as we go into week 11. I mean, this is when the team's identities are already exposed. If you're a contender or a pretender, we'll be able to sniff you out. So be ready. That being said, that's going to be happening today. But first, obviously, we got Monday Night Football thoughts. Ben's got the injury report. And then we'll do games of the week after our rankings. We'll do Pigskin Pick'em as always. We do have Matt's picks, which is very important. And then we have Pigskin Payout to kind of round it out. And maybe, just maybe, depending on time, we might have more. So without further ado, Ben, did you watch Monday Night Football? I'm hoping so.
Yes. I did watch Monday Night Football. That being said, I am gonna go in here. I'm gonna kind of take this away really quickly before we get too deep into the show or anything.
I just laughed at the title, dude. I didn't notice this right over here. That's funny.
Yes. But before we get into all of that, just want to throw that out there. Some pretty tragic news this week has definitely shook up the NFL world with Marshawn Kneeland. Currently, the reports are he got in a car chase that ended with him taking his own life. So definitely thoughts and prayers to all of that. And again, I just think that just keeps on pushing what we have said numerous times on this podcast. Check in on your friends. You never know what anyone is going through at any given time. And it's really important to check in on your friends, but then also if you're in need and you need help and you're going through something, don't be scared to reach out to a friend. Don't be scared to reach out to family. Heck, if you're a watcher and we've never met you guys in person, don't be scared to reach out to us. Again, just know that there are people out there that love you and there are people out there that care for you. And again, just a kind of really shocking and sad thing that shook up the NFL world this past week. So just wanted to take a second to acknowledge that before we got too deep into the rest of the show there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is absolutely important. You're not alone. You're not weak for this. If you need help, please reach out to this number. It's just 988 at the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's very much an important thing to cover, as this was very much unexpected from everything that's been reported as of recently. So it is tragic. And the Cowboys this week, I believe, will be playing for more than just a win this week. So as Ben said, reach out to your friends. Even if you're not the one that's directly affected, you never know what somebody else is going through. And it's very, very important to note. So, but yes, on a brighter note, yes, we'll go back. We'll bounce it back. Monday Night Football. So yes, we'll talk about it. Ben, I mean, how are you feeling as an Eagles fan? That was kind of a snooze. I was really excited for it, and then I fell asleep for majority of it because of just long day, and then that was a snooze fest, dude. I was expecting a lot more from these teams. What did you think?
Yes, it was definitely a snooze fest for the majority of the game. Some say lack of offense, others say defensive chess match. And that is that is the way I'm going to look at it. This is a defensive game. This definitely had nothing to do with the Eagles not being able to get anything done on offense. Not actually. It was bad. And there were definitely moments within the game that I thought the Eagles were going to lose this game, especially down the stretch. Poor game management continues to haunt the Eagles. I have no clue why before the 2-minute warning they didn't run the ball and force the Packers to use their timeouts. And then again, you're on the 35, punt it, pin them back. There's no reason to go for it on 4th and 8 and give them good field position. You just got lucky that I don't want to say lucky, but again, lucky the defense held up. But awful game management. And this would not have been the first time this year, let alone last year, the game management could have killed the Eagles. So hopefully they get that under wraps. There was also a report today that Kevin Patullo didn't call that 4th down play where Jalen shot it up the sideline to AJ, and that supposedly Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown went rogue and called that play on their own. I don't know the validity of that, but it was something that was out there. But again, at the end of the day, the Eagles got the win, and the Packers still have those offensive concerns that I have been talking about for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I will even take pride in saying that I've been saying it for months. You know what I mean? This team lacks offensive firepower, and yes, they have Micah Parsons. It's fantastic. I thought that would make them Super Bowl contenders, and I no longer think that. I don't think they're to be necessarily worried about as much, and with that, I'm going to kind of leave it there because we've got other segments to get to, and I'm sure that conversation will be happening very shortly. So after that, Ben, you've got our injury report. Can you please list off how that went this week?
Yeah, lots of interesting, weird stuff going on in the NFL. First off, Jackson Dart, he's going to miss this game with a concussion. He'll be in concussion protocol. They've already ruled him out. We'll talk more about that when discussing the Giants game. J.K. Dobbins left the game with a foot injury, possible IR. They're still mulling over that, deciding whether or not IR is the right fit. Trey Amos, the rookie corner for the Commanders, is out for the rest of the year with a broken fibula, which is pretty gnarly that happened in that game. And now here's where it gets a little funky. Marvin Harrison is at least out for this week. I don't know what the timetable is for that. He had to get surgery for appendicitis, something that you don't quite often see. Travis Hunter is now officially out for the season with a season-ending knee injury. We had seen him get placed on IR a week ago. Jair Alexander is stepping away from football to focus on his mental health. And again, I think prior stuff that happened earlier in the week probably pushed him towards that direction. And then Deron Payne, it's not an injury, but Buddy is suspended for a game for just going rogue and punching Amon-Ra St. Brown in the face. So he is out. And then Terry McLaurin remains out. They said he is not going to play in this game, but he is traveling to Madrid with the team, which doesn't make much sense. I don't know why he's traveling with the team if he's not going to play, going over the seas. Maybe he just wants to take his significant other out on a nice date in Spain, but who knows? But that is all the injury updates for now. And as the week comes out, and as injury reports come out, you guys will see more of that news.
Yes, yeah, and one thing about the whole Deron Payne situation, the kind of shady thing too. I don't know if you saw this, but recently, Amon-Ra St. Brown confirmed that he threw the first punch.
He said he had an accident though. But yeah,
come on. All right, let's dive in to one of the reasons why everybody's here this week. Top 5 teams in the AFC. So we're going to start with the AFC and then we'll move to the NFC, which is weird because I feel like at the beginning of the season, we were like, or at least in recent seasons, we've seen more of a power tilt to the AFC side. So, it's kind of interesting. I feel like this one was harder to put together than the NFC. So let's get this one done. How do you want to go about this? Do you want to do top 5 like back and forth, or do you want to just do top 5 and then top 5?
We'll do as we did it the first time, because we're probably thinking about doing this once a month here for you guys.
Yeah.
So we'll do it how we did. We'll go back and forth. I'll do one, you do one, I do 2, you do 2, so on and so forth. Yeah. I would be shocked in terms of AFC if we are not in agreement on who this number 1 team is. Maybe you could make an argument for number 2, but I would strongly disagree. I would both guess that we have the Colts at number 1. I know I have the Colts at number 1. Again, they've been the biggest shocker in football. A couple weird stray losses, especially against the Steelers. But as far as AFC, I think they're by far and away, at least as of right now, the best team in the AFC.
I disagree. And this could possibly be what you were referring to at number 2 spot. I have the New England Patriots. That's who I have at number 1. Just because, they've been playing really, really well, taking care of business most recently against the Buccaneers. Drake May has been playing out of his mind. And, with that being said, I think that I kind of hold more stock in that. And with the Colts, like, they are my number 2 team. I'll go ahead and kind of reveal that. But there's been a little bit more uncertainty surrounding Daniel Jones's performance as of recently. And, a couple questionable plays here and there. Jonathan Taylor is an MVP candidate, whether you want to discuss it or not. This guy is absolutely unbelievable. I understand it's a quarterback award nowadays, but it's like, this guy should be at least considered. This guy is going absolutely berserk. But the Patriots look to only be getting better as time goes on. And given it's a power ranking and not necessarily like, I take power rankings as kind of a what have you done for me recently kind of thing. And the Patriots have been a little bit better in my opinion. And that's why I have them over the Colts, which obviously – you could even say 1A, 1B, and I'd be totally fine with that. But, I think the Patriots are number 1.
Patriots are number 2 for me simply because the reason the Patriots are good is because of Drake May. And we've gushed so much about Drake May on this podcast, rightfully so. But I just think the Colts all around have the better team. And I don't really think it's particularly close. I do think there's obviously a margin. I don't say like a significant margin, but a decent sized margin between the quarterbacks and Daniel Jones and Drake May. Given Daniel Jones has been playing good for the most part outside of the Steelers game. But I just think as a whole, the Colts just have a far, far better roster. The Patriots have no business being this good. And the only reason they are is because of Drake May. That's why they find themselves at 2 for me. Excuse me. That's why they find themselves at 2, just because I think they are by far the inferior roster. But again, I have them 2, you have them 1, and my 1 is your 2. Moving on to the third team, you're going to wince. You're not going to like it. I'm sorry. It's the Chiefs. It was really close between 3 and 4. And to be frank, if we did this last weekend, team 4 would probably be team 3 here. But again, I take a lot of stock into what has happened over the last week or so, and that is why the Chiefs have found themselves at 3. Since getting Rashid Rice back, this offense has looked completely different. There's still concerns on the run game, but this offense has looked very, very good since getting Rashid Rice back. And the defense is always just going to be a very solid, formidable defense with Spagnuolo calling the plays. So Chiefs find themselves at 3 for me.
I have the Bills at 3. I mean, I don't think that. Yeah, I think that they're still a good team. And to be honest with you, I mean, if the season were to end today, the Chiefs would be out of the playoffs, which I don't obviously hold too much stock in. But if this is truly going to be the case, Josh Allen has 0 excuses. Go in there, take care of business. And this team is built to do that. I still feel like the Bills, despite the fact that they kind of got killed by the Dolphins this week, a little weird here. And I honestly, like I said, AFC is not as strong as it has been in previous years. These bottom 3 teams, even though I would say are the powerhouses, right, of the AFC, it's very weird. Like I could slot them in almost anywhere, except for those top 2 spots that we had talked about. In both of those teams, you did not anticipate being top in the AFC at all. So when we talk about the Bills, I mean, it's just Josh Allen, man. And to be honest with you, like, I just can't count him out of anything. I do have the Chiefs directly under them at 4. And I didn't originally until I kind of realized, like, I've been ignoring them. And you know what I mean? I'm just being honest with myself here. And so, you know, they are a good football team. And, you know, obviously, like, I don't want to admit it. They weren't on last month's rankings, but they deserve to be here somewhere. And I'm just putting the Bills over the Chiefs specifically because the Bills have beaten the Chiefs this year. So it's close. It's close, and we'll see where we're at next month with it as teams start to make more of a playoff push. I don't have a doubt in my mind that the Chiefs will find at least a wild card spot, so don't hold much stock into the whole if the season ends today thing. But, you know, yeah, so, you know, YouTube crowd is kind of popping off today, man. I want to thank everybody for doing that as well. But back to the show, you know.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't knock the Bills are number 4. That's why I wouldn't knock the Bills being at number 3, simply because the Bills do technically have the tiebreaker in front of the Chiefs because they beat the Chiefs. I just look at what the losses are for the Bills, and I think it's against far less competition in the Panthers, and then obviously most recently in the Dolphins. And like, good job, you can beat the Chiefs, but it doesn't really matter if you can't beat the bottom rung teams in the NFL. That's why the Bills find themselves at 4. But again, we're pretty lockstep, and I think we're both in agreement that it's the top 2 teams and then probably everyone else in the AFC. And then my last AFC team is the Broncos. Do you agree?
I don't. In fact, I think the Broncos are about to be levels behind this team, and it's more of an up-and-coming team. This team's starting to figure it out, and they recently just got their MVP back. It's the Baltimore Ravens. These guys look good since Lamar came back. It looks like they're ready to go to war for this guy, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that they've lost a game since he's been back. The guy looks great, you know. I mean, against the Vikings, against the Dolphins, put up 27 and 28 points. I mean, it's pretty good. And then not to mention, I mean, it looks like they're starting to make a little bit more of that push. They are 4-5. This is something that could, become 5-5, 6-5, 7-5. When you look at the next 3 weeks, you've got the Browns, the Jets, and the Bengals. It's like these are 3 games that the Ravens should win. And then at that point, it's like, here we go. They're making a push for the AFC North. Whereas the Broncos, they feel like there's a lot of uncertainty around them. And more specifically this year than last, I'm mentioning the quarterback in this situation. Bo Nix tends to be one of those guys where I just don't trust him right now. He's lost a lot of confidence in my brain in terms of how confident I am in him. And when it comes to the direction of the team, I understand they're winning games, but I mean, 10-7 against the Raiders, man, on Thursday Night Football. This was one of the most painful football games I've watched all season long. It was just not fun. And the Ravens are a fun team. And again, what have you done for me lately? And the Ravens are that team for me. That's why they're my number 5.
Yeah, the Ravens are there are 2 teams that would have gotten honorable mentions within this category, and that would have been the Ravens and the Chargers at 6 and 7 for me. The reason it's the Broncos is because the Broncos just continue to find ways to win games. Again, I'm right there with you. I agree. There are a lot of questions about the quarterback specifically. And Sean Payton too. I haven't really liked what he has whipped up as of recently.
Right.
But again, this team, despite it all, continues to find ways to win the game, mostly on the back of the defense. But I'm not going to knock a team that is winning games, and that's why they find themselves again at 5. And then those honorable mentions are the Ravens, as you mentioned, and then the Chargers. The Chargers would have found themselves on this list if they had a healthy offensive line.
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely. And they'd be a much better looking team as well. And I would assume Omari and Hampton is rumored to be coming back soon. Hopefully. We need more Omari and Hampton in our lives. So just to kind of do a refresher on my list, and Ben, do yours after this, please. Patriots, Colts, Bills, Chiefs, Ravens for me.
Yes, Colts, Patriots, Chiefs, Bills, Broncos.
Yes. All right. Thank you for tuning in to the AFC top 5. Now, moving into the top 5 in the NFC. So, this is where we start to have some fun, right?
Yes, this is where we disagree.
Number 1, who you got?
Right, so this kind of goes back to what we had talked about in the AFC. For me, I don't want to say it's necessarily tiered off because I think 1 through 4 are pretty close. But the most difficult time that I had for this was deciding between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 for me both come out of the same conference. And
well, they should.
Well, they should. Same division. Exactly. Same division. 1 for me is the Seahawks. Again,
we agree. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if you were going to go with the other team from this division.
This is why I didn't want to share it beforehand. Dude, this is sick.
Yes. It's the Seahawks. Again, what they have been able to do on both sides of the football has been absolutely amazing. Again, they continue to be one of the best defenses called by their head coach, Mike McDonald. Love that guy. But then again, what Sam Darnold has been able to do with this passing offense has been nothing but spectacular. The connection between him and JSN, it continues to be a top 3 connection, I might argue, in the NFL between quarterback and pass catcher. And they are just on an absolute roll, taking care of business each and every week. And I don't really see them slowing down anytime soon, unless it's to the number 2 team, which we'll get into later on. They play each other this week. But who is your number 2 team then?
Well, let me just say this really quick and get this out of the way. Seahawks, for me personally, and this might come as a surprise to some people, I guess, they look like a Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. And after the addition to the offense in Rashid Shaheed, my God, like, we're just going to keep loading up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a fun team to watch. And obviously, Ben, you and I have, agreed on this as well. JSN, man, he's really good, really fun. But my number 2 team is not where you're going. And it's the team that y'all are playing this week. It's the Detroit Lions. This team has been on an absolute tear as of recently as well. I think Detroit is really good, and you just can't deny it at this point. I think they've been hit with a couple injuries as of recently, but my God, man, Jahmyr Gibbs, regardless of who his play caller is going to be, is still going to be really good. David Montgomery is going to be right behind him in every step. Jared Goff at this point looks like a top quarterback in the conference. Nothing's changed there. And I mean, they're just they're nothing short of just a powerhouse at this moment. You can't really count them out of any game just yet. And, that being said, I mean, I without exposing too much, you haven't heard me mention the Eagles yet. And I just like this team right now more than the Eagles because, again, what have you done for me lately? This Lions team, man, they've been electric on both sides of the ball. Just playing good complementary football. Dan Campbell's doing a lot of great things. And I can only hope that my Bears reach that at some point in time. But, this is a well-constructed team that deserves to be in that conversation with the Seahawks. And I think of them as kind of that tier 1 team or top 2, you know what I'm saying, in the NFC. So that's where I've got them. I know who you're thinking, though. Tell me why.
Yeah. Well, and I can't stress this enough. The top 4 teams in the NFC make up the top 5 teams in the entire NFL. So these chunk of 4 teams for me in the NFC were very, very hard to rank. And again, it's things were just decided by margins when it comes here. It's all very, very close. Again, I have the Lions all the way down at 4. And again, I don't say it like a bad thing, but they're down at 4 for me. Number 2, again, is the team from the same division that the Seahawks hail from, and that is the Rams. And for the same exact reasons that I liked the Seahawks is the same exact reason that I like the Rams. They're just absolutely humming on offense. They probably have a better offense than even what the Seahawks have. But again, I like the Seahawks defense more, so that's why they're in front. But Matt Stafford is playing like an MVP candidate. He is arguably number 1, if not number 2 behind Drake May, who we've talked about before. And specifically, again, what Davante Adams has added to this offense has been outstanding because he's able to just toss it to him in the red zone and score every single time. And I just love every single thing that this offense can throw at you on paper. And then specifically the front 7 of the Rams defense is fantastic. That front 4 has all the names that we're used to, but those linebackers might not be these amazing names, but they have been playing very, very smart football and at times with their hair on fire in the best way possible. That's why they find themselves at number 2 for me. Who's your number 3 team?
It's actually the Rams. Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a last second edit. I do like the Rams argument for number 3 more than I had the original team at number 3. Again, good complementary football. These guys are really good. And I think that they could make another push. Not to mention Matthew Stafford, man, like MVP candidate. Like, dude's really good. And I don't think anybody was necessarily considering him to be an MVP candidate going into the season. But it's like, yeah, that Davante Adams addition has been absolutely huge, especially when Puka went down. Now you add them back into the mix, and they're just as good as they were at the beginning. Kyron Williams still good. It's a great team all around, and it's basically, I would say undisputed in that. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it and say the next team that I had moved down was your Philadelphia Eagles. And the reason being is because, these 3 teams that I had, the Seahawks, Lions, and Rams, when it comes to the order that you put them in, again, I would say they're in that top tier. And then you drop 1 tier down to that number 2 or that B tier, where they're on the verge of being full-fledged, without a doubt. You have my full confidence in being a contender team. It's the Eagles as the front runners, and basically teetering along that line of, you could do something to really convince me, and that would be to make your wide receiver less pissed off. That's really the biggest thing. This offense, man, it's pitiful. The decision making is making me really upset. However, whether I agree with it or not, they're finding ways to win football games when it matters most. They're going up against good defenses, and they're capitalizing on it. We're going to have a different discussion next year, I feel like coming, you know what I mean? When that play is kind of
I think you're
done.
correct, yeah.
There's
They
a
haven't
lot
been super
of
reliant on it this year, I want to say.
no,
Anyway.
but the calls need to be addressed in this video specifically because there's so much controversy around it. And I understand the frustration and everything. It's more of like hey, let's grit and bear it and deal with it after the season. Like, I know it's kind of crummy and everything. However, this Eagles team isn't necessarily good enough, in my opinion, or not playing well enough to where it matters most. Like, in my opinion, they could have been, if they played the way that they played last year, and this is what they're doing, then I could see players and teams being, and not only players and teams, but fans being more frustrated about it because they're winning games in large margins because of this, right? However, when you're squeaking out, 7-10 wins against, Green Bay, right? Like, it's a tight
Green Bay's
game.
still a good team. Let's not just chuck it around like they're a bad team.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it is a good team. I'm just saying when you're making it a tight competition all the way through, you can make the argument that the team just didn't play well enough against them and should have capitalized on several other things if it's going to be a 3-point game at the end of the day. Like, what I mean? Should have found the end zone. Sorry about it, But with that being said, Eagles at 4. That's where I've got them. Do you have them at 4 as well?
No, I have the Eagles at 3, Lions at 4. We already talked about the Lions. Same thing for the Eagles. Again, it is outwardly frustrating, obviously, as you see the Eagles, flag flying behind me, watching this offense, because I know the potential that they can have because I saw it last year. And it is great that the defense is finally rounding into form, especially along the front, 7, specifically the front 4. But again, I think that's the most frustrating part about watching this team is the fact that we've seen them be able to do it last year, especially with the run game, and then obviously the pass game. But again, they're winning games. You can't knock them for it. They have the talent. That's why they find themselves at 3. Lions are going to be at 4 for the same reason. I just have a little bit more questions about the Lions, specifically on the defensive side of the football for them. That's why the Lions are a notch below the Eagles for 4. And then I think the 15 here is where it gets a little interesting because I know you, Ryan. I know you, and I wonder who your 15 is.
I want to talk about your 15 first.
Okay. I'll talk about my 15 first. My 15 is the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, I think, found themselves at number 2 when we had done this.
I applaud you, sir. I applaud you.
The Buccaneers were at number 2, I think, in that NFC when we had done that last. They have been hit with a whole lot of injuries. The Baker Mayfield play style is kind of finding its way back down. Again, that is always a roller coaster watching him play. Sometimes you have these great games, and sometimes that Baker Mayfield play nips you in the butt. And it seems like, especially last week, that did it. But I still think overall they are a team that is obviously within playoff contention. I do think they are a notch below these first 4 teams that we had talked about. But I still think they are a good team in the NFC that can give some of these teams a little bit of struggle, as we've already seen before. And then really quickly, I'm sure we will talk about it, my 6th ranked team would have been the Bears. But who is I'm assuming based off of your applause, you have the Bucs at 5 as well?
Nope, I have the Bears. I'm applauding because it's not the Packers. That team is so overrated, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry. We're not going to make this about them anymore, because if you would have put the Packers there, we would have been debating for arguably 20 minutes. Happy you didn't do that. That's why I'm applauding. I do have the Bears at 5, which is awesome for me, obviously. But the reason being is because they've won 6 out of their last 7 games. People don't like this Bears team. That's fine. The reason why they don't like this Bears team is because they're finally winning games that they should win. Whether they win them pretty or not, they're winning the games that they should win. Like, for example, against New Orleans, was it a little bit tighter than probably what we had anticipated? Was it the most perfect game in the world? Like, no. But, you know, they still beat them. You know, Cincinnati, arguably game of the year. Okay, it's crazy to say it, but arguably game of the year. Did it need to be that close? Did you have to give up 500 yards to Joe Flacco? Probably not, but they won, didn't they? New York Giants, that's another game they need to win, right? Jackson Dart, 2 touchdowns before he went out with a concussion. Were you playing well before that fourth quarter? No. Did you win the game, though? Yes. You won 6 out of the last 7, and you get a tip of the cap for that. Now, going into December, right? Here's where the gauntlet starts. Am I right? I mean, you've got the Vikings this week, which are a fringe playoff team, and JJ McCarthy has been playing, you know what I'm saying? Not good, not bad. You got to play the Pittsburgh Steelers, which same tier I would put them on, despite the fact that they're the leaders in the AFC North right now. For now, that's not a playoff team, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but Aaron's just not doing it for you. The offense just not doing it for you. And then you got the Eagles, Black Friday. We got to watch that game together. You know, Black Friday. The Alliance, by the way, Twitter, the most amazing thing. Hey, Eagles, finish your side because we finished ours. So finish your side of the deal, please. And
easier for you to finish your side of the deal than ours. I will say that.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, we beat the Giants and you guys couldn't. Anyways, but
anyways.
Well, you know,
anywho's, I'm not gonna let that one slide.
But you know, after that, the Packers, then the Browns, then the Packers, then the 49ers, then the Lions. It's a heck of a gauntlet, like I said. But I would say it's possible they go 500 in those last 8 games. It's definitely achievable. You know, so let's see. Let's find out. You've been playing very decent, and not to mention Iceman, Caleb Williams in the fourth quarter. Can we get that fourth quarter play for the rest of the 3 quarters before it? Because that'd be really cool. This guy's really good. He showed it against the Giants, given it's not a great defense, but you ask for growth, right? You ask for wins. And if we're going to count wins, if we're going to count growth, it doesn't matter who it's going to be, but like, can we see something, right? That's the ask, and he's providing it. He's getting better week by week. It looks like the connection between him and Ben Johnson is getting better. They need to put Olamide Zaccheaus aside and bring up Luther Burden into that wide receiver 3 slot, because if you look into the stats of the game, I believe it was 11 drops by receivers against the Giants, which means Caleb's been putting it on the dot week in and week out. Or not week in, week out, I'm sorry, but throw in and throw out against the Giants specifically this past week. And that's impressive because the guy, if they would have completed those catches, would have been at 86% completion percentage. What's that going to do to your EPA per play? Wish we had Matt here to answer that question. But the thing is like, the guy's been playing well. Like, it doesn't do it justice. In those 4 quarters that he played, I didn't have a doubt in my mind that it was either going to be because of the defense, or it was because of the wide receivers dropping these passes, but it was not going to be because of the quarterback this time. And going into this gauntlet, these final 8 games, you need a guy that can go out and potentially win you this game in the last few minutes of the game, and you've got that in Caleb Williams now. And I've never been able to say that before as a Bears fan. So congratulations, you've secured the 5 spot. And the only reason why you could probably move up is if you somehow beat the Eagles in like 3 weeks. But that's probably not.
We will see. Yeah. Okay, pal. No, I still have again, at the end of the day, I've said it before, you cannot knock a team for winning. The reason they don't find themselves in the top 5 for me is because I still have major concerns about the team, specifically on the defensive side of the football. The defense has not been good, and they were probably playing a lot closer in games than what they shouldn't have. You guys should have wiped the floor with the Giants. And let's be honest, the Giants probably would have won that game if Brian Dable wasn't an idiot and used Jackson Dart as a battering ram. But again, you guys still continue to find ways miraculously to win games, but still finding ways to win games. So that's why I thought it was important to throw them in the honorable mention spot, them in the Packers, obviously. But again, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out, because I still do have a lot of concerns for the Bears throughout the rest of the season.
Yes, so thank you for tuning in to that segment of the show. Now, for the rest of the show, we need to talk about the games of the week. Ben, what 3 games are we talking about? Because I know, there's a Thursday night matchup we gotta talk about, right?
Yes.
But
yeah. Well,
give us a rundown. I guess 4 games.
Yes. Yeah. So there are 4 games we'll talk about. We'll start with Thursday Night Football, as we always do. We'll kind of speed through Thursday Night Football because I don't expect that to be a super close game, but you never know. But then, again, we have, we'll start here with the Patriots and Giants. For our Thursday Night Football, as you guys can see, the Jets, sorry. The Patriots are heavy favored in this game for a reason. Again, the Jets, as we have spoke about ad nauseum, have been on a fire sale. They had no business winning the game against the Browns outside of their special teams. So Jets, if you want to win this game, maybe return a kick and a punt and make it interesting. But I just continue to just not have any hope on either side of the football for the Jets at this point. Again, they sold their 2 best defensive pieces at the trade deadline. And then if you really want to see something gross and disgusting, go and look at Justin Fields' passing chart from that game. It was awful. He had like 4 passes beyond the line of scrimmage. It was really, really gross. And again, I don't have any confidence that they're able to get anything done on the offensive side of the football. Again, Breece Hall is a great player, but if your running back is the only good player on your team on the offensive side of the football, I don't suspect many good from you, because the Patriots can just load the box and say, Justin Fields, you got to throw the football. Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts light.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's my dad, by the way, on my stepmom's account. That's hilarious. For those watching, anyways,
that's a long-standing. Let's not get into that, because that's something, if you guys want to find their long-standing debates, they go probably 25 minutes plus about this, but I digress. Justin Fields has not been fun to watch. That's all that matters. Drake May has been really fun to watch. I think this is going to be a blowout. Again, I don't think we have to spend a whole lot of time talking about this game. Is there anything that I missed that you think is worth even mentioning when talking about Thursday Night Football, besides the fact that underdogs tend to do good on Thursday Night Football? That's the only thing the Jets have going for them.
2 things. TreVeyon Henderson stock going up, especially after the game against the Buccaneers. Something to note. Ramondre Stevenson has been ruled out for this game. So if you have TreVeyon Henderson, maybe throw him in as like a starter for your fantasy team.
Yes.
I highly anticipate them without Quinnen Williams to be giving TreVeyon Henderson a big day. Now, second thing, remember my weird gut feeling from last week that like went horribly? I've got another one of those. I'm taking Jets plus 12.5 and under 43.5 for the Thursday Night Football game.
Okay. Well,
I got a weird feeling. I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot of points to be scored, but Thursday Night Football like owes it to us after that Broncos and Raiders game. Like, you need to give us some points, man. That was bad. After that, we've got Seahawks and Rams, another one of the games of the week.
I think this is probably the game of the week.
Arguable, because we still have to talk about Monday Night Football, or Sunday Night Football, sorry. But what do you have on this one?
Again, I think, in my opinion, this is probably the game of the week. Again, I had these two teams as the two best teams in the NFC and arguably the two best teams in the NFL to begin with. And again, this is really, really important because it can swing a lot of things. It can swing the possibility of you being a number one seed, having home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs, to being a 5 seed and having to go on the road. Just because, again, the way that seeding works, I think we're in for an absolute treat. I think really the two important things to note is how the Seahawks handle the Rams come red zone time, because as we have mentioned, Davante Adams really gets in the mix, especially in the red zone. That's where all of his touchdowns have came, as Matt astutely pointed out in our recap show. But the Seahawks have the 7th best red zone defense in the entire NFL. So if you can kind of force them and lean upon this really, really good defense that we have seen throughout the entire NFL, or throughout the entire first 10 weeks of the NFL, then I think you can find yourself in a good spot. And again, just for the football nerd side of it, I think this game is going to be really, really fun because it's just going to be a battle of your heavy personnel offenses. We've talked about it before. The Rams really, really, really love to run that 13 personnel, meaning they're throwing one wide receiver on the field with 3 tight ends, or one running back on the field with 3 tight ends, which you don't typically see, but they have gotten a lot of good usage out of that. And again, you typically don't see that across the NFL, let alone in the McVay offense. And then on the flip side of that, the Seahawks really love to lean on their heavy personnel as well. Not quite the 13 personnel, but they love to use both their tight ends and AJ Barner and Elijah Arroyo. And again, it's interesting because when you think about heavy personnel, you automatically go to, well, they're going to run the football. But neither team really leans on the heavy personnel in this way to run the football. And both teams are running heavy personnel to pass out of it. And I think it's because people see heavy personnel, offensive and defensive coordinators see heavy personnel, and they say, well, they're going to run the football. And I think they do that to get as many guys in the box as possible. And then that leaves their weapons, JSN, Puka, Rashid Shaheed, Cooper Kupp, Davante Adams, on an island because everyone's in the box, which really allows you to efficiently pass the football. So again, I think it's going to be the battle of the heavy personnel, and we'll see which one plays out better, the 13 or the 12. But again, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've gone back and forth on who's going to win this game. You guys will see in a little bit who I think that will be. But again, it'll be a treat and one of the few couple games that are going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yes. Yeah. It's so much fun, man. I'm so excited for this one. And, given the fact too, that, I mean, it's at 3:05, dude. I'm so excited because my Bears play at noon. So it's like, there's a shot I can watch this one. So, very, very excited about that one. Chiefs Broncos. I feel like I'll start off this one. For the Chiefs, -3.5, right? This is going to be a very telling game. Whether or not they can get it going against kind of a reeling Broncos team, regardless of if they've lost 2 games or not. This Broncos team, it's been back and forth with them, man, as far as recently. And again, the confidence level going down. But for the Chiefs, I mean, their stock's going up. And like you said, getting healthy. And overall, once that team gets a little bit of firepower, now you're in trouble. So, this is all about a game that if you get hot at the right time, you're good for a run. And I'm afraid that it's about to start for those Chiefs. So, like I said, this is pretty huge, and especially because this division is extremely competitive as well, with the Broncos and the Chargers also in the mix. So excited to see how the overall divisional battle goes, but this one specifically will have my attention specifically because of the implications for both teams. But what do you have on this one?
Specifically,
Yeah.
Specifically. This is these are one of the matchups that I really miss our stat department and the head researcher and Matt, because Matt would really, I think Matt would be coming hard with the statistics to kind of back up what I'm saying here. I think the key to this game again falls on the defensive side of the football for both of these teams, because these are both teams that really love to mix in the blitz. Broncos more so that simulated blitz that we have mentioned numerous times already, where they bring a whole bunch of guys on the front and they're like, oh, who are we gonna rush? Who's coming? And then someone drops out, and then you have, a safety blitz or a nickel blitz off the edge, but still only rushing 4 guys. And the Broncos really, really love to use that. And they are very efficient with it. And they're very efficient rushing just 4 guys individual. On the flip side of that, Spags is kind of known for his timely blitzes in his own right. And I think that can play into their advantage because, as we've talked about before in this podcast, Bo Nix, he's erratic. He's up and down. We've said that probably 3 or 4 times today. And the best way to get to these erratic quarterbacks that get flustered under pressure is by sending the pressure up the middle through your center and guards. And again, Spags is really known to be able to hit this at a high efficiency rate and calling it when it matters the most. And I think if they can timely call that, it is going to make Bo Nix do stupid decisions. So again, I think it comes down to who is going to blitz at the right time and who can get pressure. And I think really the team that can do that is going to come out the victor in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. So with that being said, I do want to say regarding this game, I think if Bo Nix can protect the ball, that's going to be the telling side of it, right? Another thing, I don't think that J.K. Dobbins will be playing in this one. So R.J. Harvey stock up. Maybe a waiver wire steal, depending on how your league is. Next up, Lions Eagles. How are you feeling about this one, man? Because I'm pretty excited about this one. Don't let me down. Also, hold on a minute. Reeling you back in for the Chiefs and Broncos. We got another comment here. This is the week Denver dives in the power rankings. They've failed against the only 2 real teams they've played. Check it out. My dad changed the name of the account. But yeah,
they beat the Eagles, so let's not. Again,
the Eagles are bad, so I'm just kidding. No, go for it.
Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. Conversation for another day. But again, I think Denver has benefited from a lighter schedule, especially when you look at where those wins have come from. As far as the Eagles and the Lions, it kind of is much of the same as what I said in this previous game. The Eagles kind of had seen a renaissance against the Packers. They had struggled all season long getting pressure on the quarterback, but it's amazing what happens when you plop in one of the better edge rushers in the NFL into a defense. It's amazing what happens when you drop in one of the better edge rushers in the NFL. Again, Jalen Phillips was really able to take over that game, but because they had to shade the protection over to his side, that really allowed the other guys in Nolan Smith and a blitzing Nakobe Dean and a Jalen Hunt to get after Jordan Love. So I think the key to victory for the Eagles is being able to get pressure on Jared Goff. And if you can get them in less than advantageous situation, you're going to force them to throw. And as we know with the Lions, the best way for them to succeed is by turning around and handing the ball off to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Not that they can't succeed through the air, because they still obviously have Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the better pairings in the NFL. But if you can force them to throw the football, I think you're going to put yourself hopefully in a good spot. And then can we see a little bit more A.J. Brown, please? Please?
No, he's complaining. He's going to get punished, dude. I'm telling you.
He's not going to get punished.
He's going on streams right now saying, hey, man, if you've got me in fantasy, you should bench me or you should get rid of me. That's what he said. Get rid of me is the terminology that he used. Unbelievable.
Just no. And you could have had Breece Hall for him, and you told me no. You look
I still can. Offer still stands, right? Hey, maybe he just needs to pick up a book on the sideline. Maybe that's what the deal is. Who knows?
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Anyways, so that'll do it for our games of the week. Very fun time there. And let's dive into Pigskin Pick'em. We do have Matt's picks, like I mentioned. And speaking of Matt, holy cow. So bit of a bit there in terms of what happened last week. If you don't remember, go and watch our predictions from last week. Pretty funny. Matt went 12-2. This dude's insane. He wanted to close the gap, and he did.
Applauds to Matt. All right, I can't stress that enough. Good job, Matt. But that's not on Matt. That's on you. You brought your evil, bad, disgusting juju over to my side, picking every single game and really messing up my mojo.
Hey.
And I need you to back off.
First place picks first. Just saying. So
that's
we're
fine.
gonna go.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't like what you did there. You back off. And all I'm hearing is you continue to do that, you're gonna finish in last place. That's what I'm saying.
Can I just say
you'd rather lose than see me win. What does that say about you, pal?
It says that I'm your best friend, and this is exactly what best friends do. I don't know what else to tell you. No, exactly. No, if I'm gonna struggle, you're gonna go down with me. Come on, this is a 3-man show. If it were different, it'd just be me conceding defeat. But no, there's a third person on this show, and I'd rather see him win and watch you fail.
Wow!
Seriously, in all seriousness, though.
Fun,
Oh, it's a 1-man show now. I'm just kidding. Now, my co-hosts are dropping like flies. Man, this is bad. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, 12-2 from Matt. Ben and I went 8-6. It's awesome. Did I pass the bad torch? Is that a thing? Who knows? So overall, that puts us at Ben still in the lead, 101-46-1. For Matt, he's 95-52-1. Only 6 games behind. Watch out. And then I'm 15 games behind. I'm 86-61-1. Not a good season for you, boy. So I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement for Thursday Night Football. Patriots are taking this one because Matt said Patriots. I'm assuming you're saying Patriots. I'm saying Patriots. We can move past that one.
I learned to not pick against my baby boy Drake, man.
My dad calling me out. My family reflects that. Yeah, I know. I know. Listen, I placed a bet that the Packers would win on Monday and just helped you out. It's part of the Bears and Eagles alliance that's on Twitter right now. Just saying.
Yeah.
You only got it for 2 more weeks, and then we're burning that bridge. So next up, Commanders, Dolphins. Who you got?
I'm going Dolphins. The legend of Pirate Tua, One-Eyed Tua, continues to live on.
This is where I'm gonna have to disagree with you, I believe. Crazy enough, I know. Yeah, this is the first disagreement that we'll have in 2 weeks almost. So I'm going Commanders, and you're going Dolphins. Awesome. This is where I close the gap, folks. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right. Packers, Giants.
Matt is picking the Dolphins as well in this game. Again, this game as well. This is a for me, it is a 9:45. For you guys, it is an 8:45 game because it is played in Madrid. Again, we just came off the backs of a Berlin game. Now we're going to Madrid, expanding the borders on football. We love it.
Yeah. Packers, Giants. What you got?
Packers.
No faith in Jameis Winston? Come on, bro. We have W's to eat. Come on.
Pick him then.
No, I'm gonna pick the same as you to make you mad.
Oh,
And so will Matt. Matt has the Packers as well. Texans, Titans. What you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Texans here. Davis Mills.
Matt is also.
Yes.
What?
We love Davis Mills. I didn't expect him to win last week, and he put together a game-winning drive. And that is really saying much that we are picking a team that has been bad, the bad offensive line, without their starting quarterback against the 1-8 Titans.
Yeah, I'm going Texans. Yeah, makes sense. Panthers, Falcons. What you got? This one's weird, man. Panthers are weird.
Panthers are weird. I'm going the Falcons, though. I think the Falcons, this is a bit of a revenge game from them. If you remember when they played earlier in the season, they lost 30-0. And the Falcons continue to just be a team that is just, they're either very on or very off. As a close game we saw against the Colts last week, and then the game that we saw against the Panthers a couple weeks ago. And I think this is going to be an on Falcons week, so I'm going Falcons.
Yeah, Matt takes the Falcons as well. I'm going to go ahead and take the Panthers. I think that they're going to do it. I don't know. Bears, Vikings. Who you got?
Hear that?
Dude, it's so tough to pick like with or
Do you hear that?
against them.
Oh, do you hear that? It's
Oh, no, I don't.
World's smallest violin playing. Oh, down goes the Bears. The run was fun while it lasted. Give me the Vikings. 9. 9's gonna bounce back.
Yeah, Vikings will also be picked by Matt, and I think that's very cute. That little 9 alter ego thing is going to get memed for years. Give me the Bears. You think Ben Johnson's really going to trot this team out and allow them to lose again to the Vikings? No way. No way. No way. Not against that chump at quarterback. Chargers, Jaguars. What you got?
Yeah, Chargers. Again, I still think the Chargers have the pieces that they need outside from the tackles. And again, I just don't have any confidence in where the Jaguars are at this point in the season. So I'm going the Chargers.
This one's also kind of a toss-up, in my opinion, right? Just because, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, 2,000 yards, okay. Brian Thomas Jr., man, what's going on there? Parker Washington kind of looking all right, though. Kind of fun. Can't lie. However, I mean, defense, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust them, but I'm going to this week. Give me the Jags. Bucks, Bills. What are we doing, man? Bills losing, I mean, against the Dolphins. Is this an off week? What's going on?
No, this is a bounce back.
Did Josh Allen watch Sinners? Is that what happened?
No, this is a bounce back game for the Bills. Again, I think it was really, really hard for them to stomach some of the stuff that happened early in the season for them. So we will go with the Bills. We had seen it when they had lost to the Falcons. And then they turn around and put up 40 points against one of the better defenses at that point in the season. And I think this is going to be, again, the case where they're like, this is awful. We're going to show we're going to show the league what kind of team we are. I'm going Bills.
I don't know about you, but I think there's an MVP candidate playing this game. I think there is. And his name's Baker Mayfield. Give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks because I think Mr. Buck E. Irving is coming back. Crazy stuff. I don't know. Some are saying. Bengals, Steelers. What you got? Wait, Matt's also picking the Bills. I don't know if I said that, but Matt's picking the Bills. And he's also picking the Chargers against the Jags.
Yes, you did say that.
Yes.
I hate this game. I really don't want to pick this game. I'm going to pick the Steelers just because that's the vibes I'm getting, but I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a little rough. Man. I I'm going to go the Bengals. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm not just saying this just to disagree with you because I've disagreed with you almost every time, right? I'm saying this because they're coming off of a bye and they got smacked the last 2 times in the face. It's time they go and they go to Pittsburgh and finish the job like they did the first time. I think the Steelers are going to get swept by the Bengals this year. Crazy enough.
Joe Burrow's practicing too.
He's not coming back this week, but I think the
Return is
overall good
imminent.
vibes as the vibe guy on the
Yes.
Pigskin Project. Yes. 49ers, Cardinals. Matt's going Steelers, by the way.
See, I feel twisted in this one. I don't know what Matt's pick is for this game. I have told Matt, because again, I know. Again, I'm the leader in the clubhouse, so my picks go first. So I told Matt what it was this morning. And this morning, I had the Cardinals winning this game. That being said, I did not at that point realize that Marvin Harrison got surgery on his appendix. And now that I have that knowledge, I will not be picking the Cardinals to win this game. I will be picking the 49ers. I'm really hoping Matt does not realize that Marvin Harrison has an exploded appendix because we have agreed thus far. So I'm hoping he's picking the Cardinals.
He has picked the 49ers to win as well, and so will I. Seahawks at Rams. What are you doing?
This is grody. I'm going to go with the Rams just because of how hot Matt Stafford has been playing. And there were definitely moments in that Falcons game that I was like, oh, this might get a little hairy. So I'm going to pick the Rams, but again, I don't feel super confident about this.
I'll go Seahawks. I'll be the one guy on the show to take the Seahawks because Matt took the Rams. And
so is me
just
and Matt
to follow the trend.
Agreed on any pick?
Nope. Not a single one.
Matt, you silly goober.
It's happening again.
Goober.
Chiefs, Broncos. What do we got?
Chiefs. Again, I don't trust Bo Nix at all. I wouldn't trust him to cook me mac and cheese. Chiefs.
We're going Chiefs as well over here. Same thing for Matt. Ravens, Browns. This one's pretty self-explanatory, or should be.
Yeah.
Yep. Ravens across the board. And then we've got Lions, Eagles.
I'm gonna do what I do. It has worked fairly well for me thus far. I pick against my Eagles in primetime games, and it tends to be very beneficial for me because we tend to win the games in which I pick against my birds. For that reason, I'm going to pick against my birds, and I tell myself, well, I'd rather have low expectations and be happy, but Lord knows I'm picking the Lions to win, and I'll probably be pretty upset if the Lions win. But yes, I'm picking the Lions.
I'm also picking the Lions, and Matt is picking the Eagles. So that'll be funny.
Finally!
Yep. And then Cowboys, Raiders. What do you got? Oh, wait. Hold on a minute. New comment pulling in. Can definitely see why the hierarchy of the pick'em is where it is. Ryan couldn't pick his own nose. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Love the support. Yeah. All right. Cowboys, Raiders. I think we should know, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going Cowboys. So I wouldn't run it by Matt to just be like, but I'm picking the Cowboys.
Matt is also picking the Cowboys, and so will I. So that'll do it for Pigskin Pick'em for this week. Last but not least, we've got Pigskin Payout. Gamble responsibly. This is not anything that we will be responsible for if you were to lose. And, I mean, given our recent track record, not great. So, if you're going to tail us, I would recommend it because we're due. We're due. Just saying. Yeah. Why don't you go first while I think about my anytime touchdown scores? We'll kind of switch it up a little bit.
Yes. I will indubitably go first here. Quick check-in on how I went last week. It was really, really gross because I was very, very close. I hit 3 out of 4 legs. lost miserably to the Steelers covering plus 3.5. But we're going to bounce back. This is going to be a bounce back week for us. Again, it's going to be the four-legger that I have for you guys, consisting of money lines and spreads. I will do the Falcons money line at minus 178. The Cowboys money line is only at 190, which is a little bit shocking. Love the odds there, so we're taking that one. And then Chargers money line at minus 156. And then we are going to have the Cardinals cover. Again, I had made this before. I had realized the Marvin Harrison stuff. That's all right. But the Cardinals to cover plus 4.5. The odds for that is minus 156, bringing your total to plus 541 at $10. Win about $55.
Nice. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay. So normally I pick the Sunday slate. I normally stay away from Thursday night football. I'm going to go A-Chain to score a touchdown against the Commanders. I'll say Drake London against the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey against the Cardinals, and then I'll go Jamar Chase as well against the Steelers. So, actually, no, scratch that.
Nope.
Hold on a minute. Let me do some research here really quick.
He's cooking.
He's
He's cooking.
Yeah, he's fine. All right, we're going T. Higgins.
Yes. Buddy saw T. Higgins burn his Bears and is now forever in debt, even though they won that game.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Scoreboard. My dad said last week was an Algier week. Bijan touchdown is only minus 145 versus Carolina. Nice. Yeah, no, that's a good pick. So weird, man. I feel like I want to bet Bijan. You know what I mean? Like that's a pick that I want to take, but I feel like every time that I say that this man will score a touchdown, it's like, nope, we're just gonna take your unit away from you, buddy. Sorry about it. Side note, funny enough, so last week when it comes to my picks, I know Jonathan Taylor scored. Rico Dowdle scored as well. James Cook, did he score a touchdown last week? Do you know?
Mm-mm.
No, he did not against the Dolphins. I don't believe so. It was
He did not.
Keon Coleman and Jackson Hawes, who picks that? And then JSN I picked to score a touchdown, which I believe he did. Yes. So I was one away. We're due. We're so due. I mean, come on. And the funny thing is, Caitlin and I, we made a parlay together, and she was also one away. It was Rome. It was I guess I could look at my failed bets. That would be telling. It was Rome, Breece Hall. No, I don't bet as much anymore. It was Rome, Breece, Dowdle, and Henry. And Derrick Henry was the Raven that did not score a touchdown. However, his backup running back, and Justice Hill did. Unbelievable, man. So, yes, Ben, any closing comments?
No, again, a week of football with a lot of fun slates. Hopefully that middle slate isn't quite the blowout that it was this past weekend. So look for that. But again, another great week of football. Matt, we miss you dearly. Get well soon. He's just sick. He has a cold, some vertigo.
Yeah. He didn't die, you know?
He didn't die. Exactly. He's not dead. He's fine.
We miss you. We do.
Hopefully Matt is better come Sunday where we can do the recap show. TPD, we will find out. And then again, kind of where we had picked it up to start the show. I cannot stress it enough. Again, if you're going through something, do not be scared to reach out. Again, there are people that love and care about you and want to be there and want to help you. Again, as Ryan flashes, hotline number there, 988. Again, it's something that it is tragic every single time it happens. And again, seek the help that you need. And I cannot stress that enough.
We lose too many people to it every day. So if you or a loved one that you know could be affected, you know what number to call now. Reach out to people, even though, might be weird or whatever. You never know what they're going through or what time of day it is. They could be seconds away, not to make it too dark, but it's real. It's a real possibility. And the league's feeling that now. So yes, without further ado, thank you so much for watching the Pigskin Project. 183 episodes, Ben. Crazy stuff. I don't know. We want to thank Spotify for Podcasters, Regional Radio Sports Network, and Uppercuts Grooming for helping us grow as a podcast. We want to thank our audience for sticking around as long as they did, and showing up week in and week out, and our YouTube audience specifically as well, because we're going up, guys. We're trending up. So thank you, guys. Couldn't do it without you. We'll see you next week when it'll become a 3-man show again. Until then, gamble responsibly. Enjoy football. We'll see you guys next week.